Well, I haven't done one of these for a while. I have had 515 hours of Games of Thrones to catch up on, mind you, plus I like to sleep a lot. But I'm back, and as the growing season slows down, so will these videos. But for now, you can enjoy this one. Why don't I take you on a tour of the plot and I'll show you what's going on, what's dying mainly, and I'll outline my plans for the rest of this growing season and into next year as well. Right, come on, let's get up there. Starting up at the top of the plot as usual, there are the potatoes, still got to dig them up. Beans, French beans, still loads on there, picking them as quickly as I can. Down to the leeks, which are triumphant. Really happy. Spinach, still going, having a go, I'm picking that, although you wouldn't believe it. Very tasty stuff. These are the patty pan squash things, which are, they're in there somewhere. But more excitingly, my butternut squash, whoa-hey, has produced a butternut squash. I think there's another one in here somewhere else. Okay, I'm lying to you, there probably isn't. Ah, there you go. One of those there. Shadow, hello. So, yeah, my butternut squash is producing like a boss. So the vegetables in this third bed have totally come and gone. I have got a sprout plant there which hopefully will perform later on in the season, but everything else now is just dead, bolted or gone. So in the next week or two I'll be removing everything from here and digging it over. The fruit bed, which was a part success. Gooseberries here, fantastic. Raspberries, very poor show to be honest. What I'm going to do is dig that over in the autumn, just take every plant out, get rid of it and plant something next year. They did nothing. The gooseberry, however, turned up trumps. Look at the sunflower, looking very happy. He's now about 4.5 foot tall. Best I've ever done with a sunflower, so I hope he's got a couple of more months in him. Anyhow, this bed had all the onions in, remember? Those bad boys have been dug up and are now drying. Beetroot were up there. Chard, I never used the chard, so that was a waste of time. And there were broad beans at the end. Anyhow, this bed is going to be dug up and over, and what I am going to do is extend this section here, dig it out to there, and go up there and just make the bed bigger so I can get more vegetables in it next year, because it kind of, apart from the onions and the shallots, which were put on a good show this year, this bed did nothing. And finally, my little flower bed. The dahlias eventually put on a show, looking quite nice. There's the other sunflower, not as established as the other one. Lupins looking very nice. And then as I pan up, you can see what a jungle it's become if you compare it with one of the very first couple of videos that I did when I dug over each bed and got it in pristine condition. But that's my project for the autumn, to dig it all over and get it ready for the next year. So as the end of August approaches, that was the first year on this plot. I mean, I've still got the butternut squash to harvest, the leeks are still going to come through, so I've still got stuff to be getting on with while I'm up here, and I've got to tidy the whole place up as well. But let me recap on some of the failures that I've had on this plot this year. Firstly, the broad beans. Broad beans were terrible. I put them in, the mice had them. Then when I grew them on at home, they came up and they're all a bit wimpy and a bit rubbish, to be honest. So I'm hoping to do better on the broad beans next year. Cabbage, I planted 8, 4 bolted, 4 were okay. I took 2, 2 were just left for the mice. Lettuce were great, but again, they all came up at once. I had about 450 kilos of lettuce to try and get through, so although not a failure, I've just got to try and stagger it out a bit better. What else was a failure? The raspberries. I planted 3 canes, Autumn Bliss. Sorry, I planted 5 canes, 3 canes came up, the other 2 died. The raspberries that were already here, rubbish, just did nothing. So, I don't know, I'll see how that goes. On to the successes. What are the successes? Well, just looking at it now, my sunflower is looking great. Spuds were good. Leeks are looking good at the moment. Spinach was excellent. French beans were excellent. Onions were brilliant. Onions were champion, I've got to say, this year. Shallots did well. Beetroot did well once they got going. So yeah, pros and cons to this season. I'm looking forward to the butternut squash. They look quite good. There are 2 plants growing up the back of this shed here as well, and they're producing, there's 2 butternut squash on those. So I think they'll be a good kind of autumn plant to get stuck into. Right, that's it. I don't know when the next video will be, because well, I might do one when I come up and I harvest the butternut squash. Excuse the bloody truck driving past. Right. Thank you. I will continue. So yes, I will come up and make a couple more videos in the late autumn, I guess. It's primarily the butternut squash videos and the leeks, but apart from that, the videos are going to slow down essentially. So that's it. What I'll do is wrap up now, and I'll see you the next time. Bye for now.